Emergency. Batman speaking. Warning all of you to brace yourselves for big news.
The biggest.
Tell them, Robin.
Holy superlatives, Batman. It's really exciting. Soon, very soon, Batman and I will be batapulting right out of your TV sets and onto your theater screens.
In 1967, Adam West wore his Batman costume for a secret project in London. He filmed something that no American fans saw for over 50 years. Even the most prominent Batman collectors were unaware of this footage locked away in British archives. In 2018, someone found it while searching for lost TV history. What Adam West revealed in that lost scene surprised viewers. This discovery showed that even the most famous superheroes can have hidden secrets. In 1964, Ed Graham Productions obtained the rights to create a Batman TV series. The plan was to make a simple Saturday morning adventure, similar to the adventures of Superman that CBS had shown in the 1950s. They aimed to hire Mike Henry, an NFL linebacker who would later become Tarzan, as the first live-action Batman. By 1965, CBS was about to finalize the deal, but negotiations stalled. The network never picked up the show. Batman might have turned into a children's program, hurting his popularity for years if it had. Henry left to play Tarzan, and the entire project fell apart just before filming. This failure meant audiences never saw a Saturday morning Batman, but it opened the door for the primetime version that later became a sensation. That same year, something unexpected happened at the Playboy Mansion in Chicago. Hugh Hefner decided to show all 15 episodes of the old 1943 Batman serial. The event attracted celebrities and socialites. It started as a nostalgic gathering, but sparked a cultural reaction no one expected. Guests dressed up, shouted at the screen, booed the villain, and cheered the action. The New York Times and other outlets reported on the lively atmosphere. Suddenly, Hollywood executives began to view Batman differently. The old serial, once forgotten, had become popular again. Hefner's party proved that people wanted to enjoy Batman's extravagant style as entertainment. Without this event, the character might have remained forgotten. In 1965, Columbia Pictures took advantage of this renewed interest and edited the 1943 serial into a 4.5-hour film called An Evening with Batman and Robin. It premiered at the Playboy Theater in Chicago and quickly spread to art house cinemas and college towns. Crowds flocked to see it, with theaters selling out midnight showings and record sales at concessions. Some theaters split the showings over 2 days with 7 chapters on Saturday and 8 on Sunday. Reports described lines around the block, with fans arriving in costume. The success amazed Columbia executives and caught ABC's attention. The ticket sales showed that Batman could attract large audiences. This convinced the network that a live-action Batman show could be a big hit. Yale Udoff, a young ABC executive, gained attention during this time. He had been a Batman fan since childhood. After seeing how much the audience loved the character in Chicago, he firmly believed Batman should be on television. He pushed this idea in every meeting, shouting, "We should do Batman," at his bosses. At first, they laughed at him, but Udoff didn't give up. He wrote a detailed proposal for a stylish series that combined elements of James Bond and the man from UNCLE. Some ABC executives even admitted to secretly reading Batman comics, hiding them in business magazines on flights. Ultimately, Udoff's effort helped convince ABC to take the risk. William Dozier became the producer in 1966 and revealed a surprising fact. He had never read a comic book. When he finally read some Batman comics for research, he found them odd and thought the material couldn't be taken seriously. Gadgets like shark-repellent bat spray and stories about Batman surfing against the Joker made him decide that comedy was the way to go. Instead of following the comics directly, he created a campy parody. This was a bold choice when American culture was filled with satire, from Andy Warhol's art to Lichtenstein's comic-inspired paintings. The result was unique on television. Bright costumes, exaggerated villains, and words like pooh and bam flashing on the screen. Dozier's approach worked. When Batman premiered in January 1966, it became an instant hit. Not everyone agreed with Dozier's idea. Eric Ambler, a well-known espionage writer, had been hired to write a feature-length Batman movie to launch the series. However, when he realized Dozier wanted to turn the character into pop art comedy, he left the project. As a writer known for serious thrillers, Ambler didn't want to participate in satire. His quick exit showed how unusual Dozier's concept was. It was rare for a writer to abandon such a big project just because they disagreed with the direction. Casting was another key moment. In 1965, 2 screen tests were filmed. One featured Adam West and Burt Ward. The other showed Lyle Waggoner as Batman and Peter Diel as Robin. Waggoner was a safer choice since he was already recognized in Hollywood and matched the look executives expected. But West was relatively unknown. When the 2 test footages were compared, West and Ward captured the quirky, campy energy that Dozier wanted. The studio decided to take a risk and chose West and Ward over the more established Waggoner. Waggoner later succeeded in shows like The Carol Burnett Show and Wonderful Fun, but West and Ward brought Batman and Robin to life like no one else could. Adam West's journey to getting the role was astonishing. The producers noticed him in a Nestle Quick commercial. His deadpan delivery in that ad showed he could say outrageous lines without laughing. Dozier saw that this was the tone the show needed. West signed his contract on September 21, 1965, outshining bigger names because he could simultaneously portray Batman as both serious and funny. This unique blend made his performance memorable. Burt Ward was cast as Robin in 1966 when he was 20 years old, even though the character was meant to be a teenager in high school. Ward's youthful look made audiences think he was around 15 or 16. Behind the scenes, he did his stunts, sending him to the hospital 4 times in his first 5 days of shooting. His injuries showed how committed he was to the role. Fans debated his age for years, but his energy and athleticism perfectly represented the character. West and Ward were supported by experienced stage actors who gave the show more depth. Alan Napier, born in 1903 and related to a former British Prime Minister, played Alfred. He trained at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in London and had performed since the 1920s when he joined Batman at age 63. Neil Hamilton, who played Commissioner Gordon, brought his experience from silent films and stage plays. Their backgrounds added seriousness to the show, balancing the colorful chaos around them. Batman's hidden controversies and sexuality rumors in the 1960s. In 1954, psychiatrist Frederick Wertham published a book called Seduction of the Innocent. He made a shocking claim that quickly spread across America. He argued that Batman's stories were psychologically homosexual. Wertham pointed out that Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson lived together, had no women in their home, and were sometimes shown relaxing side by side. Some boys even told him they wished they could live with Bruce Wayne. Wertham described the comic as a wish dream of 2 homosexuals living together. His ideas were linked to the broader fears of the 1950s, known as the Lavender Scare. The accusation didn't disappear after the book's release. It lingered for years, casting a long shadow over Batman. By the 1960s, when the Batman TV series became popular, producers and actors worried that any detail in the show could bring back the controversy. They closely monitored dialogue, costumes, and storylines, making Batman one of the most analyzed children's shows for hidden meanings. In 1967, a TV radio album magazine published an article titled The Whisper Campaign Against Batman and Robin. The article was only 2 pages long, but weighed heavily on the issue. For the first time, a mainstream publication addressed rumors about Batman and Robin's relationship and about actors Adam West and Burt Ward. Though the article denied the claims, it made sly comparisons. One line stated, "Though both of them must have heard the whispers, like Liberace some years ago, they are doubtless laughing all the way to the bank." This remark referred to the famous pianist Liberace, who had sued newspapers in the 1950s for suggesting he was gay and joked about crying all the way to the bank after winning $8,000 in damages, about $22,000 today. By referencing him, the magazine fueled the rumors while pretending to dismiss them. It showed how deeply the whispers had spread, becoming a public flashpoint in debates about sexuality and television of that time. The comparisons to Liberace were not random. They showed how writers used coded language to discuss sensitive issues without making direct accusations. The TV radio album article embraced this technique, knowing readers would make connections. The piece suggested that, like Liberace, the Batman stars were in on the joke, enjoying their fame while ignoring the gossip. But for the show's producers, the rumors were serious. They feared that a suggestion of homosexuality around the series could scare away sponsors and family-friendly viewers. ABC executives quickly intervened by rewriting parts of Batman to emphasize the character's attraction to women. One notable line had Batman tell Robin that his interest in pretty supervillainesses was due to the first oncoming thrusts of manhood. This shift aimed to reassure viewers and sponsors about Batman's heterosexuality. The studio didn't stop with the scripts. They launched a publicity campaign to portray Adam West and Burt Ward as undeniably masculine. They were shown practicing karate, discussing their marriages, and showcasing their families, attempting to counter any rumors about their sexuality that could threaten the show's success. Despite its initial popularity, Batman faced declining ratings. After premiering in January 1966 and peaking at 14 million viewers, the show struggled to stay in the top 20 by March. The term Batman fatigue described the audience's waning interest. By summer 1966, ratings fell sharply, and an August report stated Batman was no longer among the top-rated programs. Merchandise still sold well, but viewership dwindled. The Batman movie, released in 1966, aimed to rekindle excitement, but only earned $1.7 million, falling short of expectations. As the second season began in September 1966, the ratings had plummeted to 34th place, a stark decline from earlier. The show's magic seemed to fade despite introducing new villains, and cast members worried about potential cancellation. Batman's untold production blunders and what could have been. The most surprising piece of banned Batman content from 1966 was not an American TV episode. It came from London in May 1967, when Adam West, in his Batman costume, filmed a road safety message for British children. For more than 50 years, no one had seen this footage. Even the most devoted American Batman fans were unaware it existed. In 2018, the archive group Kaleidoscope found the film during a campaign to recover the United Kingdom's top 100 missing television clips. Before then, it had never been shown outside Britain. Many believed it was lost forever. In 2018, people were excited to discover a hidden piece of superhero and British cultural history. In a clip, Batman, played by Adam West, teaches children how to cross the road safely, demonstrating the curb drill, the British version of road safety rules. He stands on a quiet street and calmly explains the steps. Stop at the curb, look right, look left, look right again, and only cross when it's safe. He stays in character as Batman, mixing the American superhero image with British safety advice, which had never been done before. This film had been lost for decades, and its rediscovery reminded everyone that even well-known franchises can lose parts of their history. The first public showing was at Birmingham City University on April 14, 2018. This event was part of Kaleidoscope's search for 100 lost television gems, including Doctor Who and the Avengers episodes. It attracted professionals and fans, many surprised to learn that Batman once starred in a forgotten road safety film. The findings showed how important the media is, as it is still hidden in archives and private collections. Another interesting part of Batman's history involves singer Leslie Gore. She played Catwoman's sidekick, Pussycat, in the two-part episode Scat, Darn Catwoman, aired on January 25, 1967. She performed two songs in this episode, California Nights and Maybe Now. While California Nights is still remembered, the song Maybe Now disappeared from American reruns for unknown reasons. Leslie wrote it with her brother, Michael Gore, and it was released as the B-side of her single, Treat Me Like a Lady. Although some prints and foreign broadcasts still included it, American reruns and MeTV airings cut the performance, leaving many viewers unaware of its existence. There was a controversial scene with Commissioner Gordon in which Batman brings him into the Batcave, and Alfred uses bat sleep spray to make him forget the hero's identities. Some versions cut this scene because producers were worried about showing a police commissioner being drugged, even in a fun way. This showed that even silly shows had to be careful for their young audience. In the late 1960s, Adam West was banned from Aspen, Colorado for 15 years after a wild party. He admitted to drinking and partying, and while there were noise complaints, no criminal charges were filed. After 15 years, he was allowed to return, adding to his celebrity status beyond being a superhero. West and Burt Ward, who played Robin, became known for their nightlife as much as their roles. Ward shared embarrassing stories from their encounters with fans in costume, while West felt that Ward exaggerated some tales. This gossip strained their relationship and worried network executives about the show's family-friendly image. Cesar Romero, the Joker, wouldn't shave his mustache, so the makeup team painted over it for all 120 episodes and the 1966 film. The outline of his mustache can still be seen in close-ups, making his version of the Joker famous. Behind the scenes, the cast often lived as wildly as their characters. West and Ward shared that their success led to endless parties with late nights and attention. These gatherings sometimes lasted until dawn, leaving the actors tired during filming and forcing makeup crews to work harder to keep them looking fresh. Reports from that time confirmed that the off-camera chaos could sometimes rival the wild stories shown in the episodes. The Batman TV show from the 1960s is remembered for its colorful action and campy humor, but it also had hidden stories. Notably, writer Harlan Ellison pitched an episode featuring the villain Two-Face called The Two-Way Crimes of Two-Face. Still, his script was rejected due to network politics and sat in files for nearly 50 years until it was adapted into a comic in 2014. The show also created the Batboat, which debuted in the 1966 movie. Filming on water was expensive, so it was used sparingly and eventually stored away, becoming a mythical item for fans. By the third season in 1968, ratings had dropped and ABC canceled the show. NBC showed interest in a fourth season, but a major mistake was revealed. The sets were destroyed, making them too costly to rebuild. As a result, NBC lost interest, and the idea of a lost fourth season was more legend than fact. Producers had also considered spin-offs, including a Batgirl series and other DC hero shows. Still, when Batman collapsed, all these ideas were abandoned, confirming that the end of Batman closed the door on a larger superhero universe.